Tonight talking about job security in wake of the Great Resignation. In the last year, you may have been one of millions who decided it was time to enter a new chapter of life and find a new job. In wake of the pandemic, many of us have reconsidered the very fabric of what work looks like, whether it's a career change or choosing to find somewhere with more flexibility or maybe the chance to work from home. Well, that led to what many have called the Great Resignation. But the choice of change has not come without consequences. New data from Bankrate shows workers who took advantage of that hot job market during COVID and post-COVID may now be feeling less job security than those who stayed put. More than half of those who found a new, better-paying job say they're now worried about their job security. Fears about unemployment right now twice as high as those who stayed put at their company and got a pay raise. And about 2 in 5 working Americans, 39%, are feeling worried about their job security, regardless of whether they switched companies. But are these worries justified? Is it as treacherous as it may seem to go after that new job right now? Well, I recently spoke to Bankrate analyst Sarah Foster about this.
If you still want a new job, you think now is still the time?
Yeah, and I think this is something that's really important for job seekers to remember is that while they're probably a little bit nervous, and then we did see in our Bankrate survey that, close to 40% of all workers are nervous about their job security over the next 12 months, it's still a good time. We just don't know how much longer that will last. So I'd say if you're really on the market right now, if you want to change positions, it's still an important time to do that right now, because a year from now, you might not have as many options as you do today.
And that gets us to the next point I think you're making. The grass not always greener, so maybe it makes sense to work things out with your company first.
Absolutely. And I think this is something that a lot of workers might not really take into consideration, especially coming out of the pandemic with, we've seen obviously lots of companies wanting to pull workers back into the office. And we've also kind of seen a rebellion from workers in some instances of saying they don't want to go back. And so what I think that shows is that even if your company is pushing you to do something that maybe you don't want to do, it's always a good idea to come to the table with ways that you can contribute your value, show how you can be successful, and then what work environment would help you be that best worker.
And that leads into another one of your tips here is that when job switching, look for more than just higher pay, right?
Yeah, and I think obviously we've seen this major shift in the way that workers view work coming out of the pandemic. And while we do know that lots of job seekers, when they switch jobs, they tend to reap the biggest pay gains, we also know that job seekers want to feel value in their workplace. They want to feel that their work is meaningful. And so I think at the end of the day, making sure that the company that you're working for aligns with your goals is going to be a really important way to kind of limit that burnout that maybe you felt during the pandemic.